Hello everyone and welcome back to Aprons On. So what's on the cutting board this week then? Well, as promised, we're going to be making a Dutch favourite, a real Dutch comfort food called Boeren Kool, which translated literally means farmer's kale. So this recipe is obviously built around kale. So what have we got as far as ingredients? We've got a pound of chopped kale. We've got 4 large russet potatoes, 4 rashers of bacon, 4 medium onions, some bay leaves, salt and pepper just for taste, and then the sausage. Now traditionally this is made with a sausage called rookworst, which literally translated is smoked sausage. And you can get smoked sausage in the supermarkets here. I particularly like this turkey Kielbasa. It's quite a lot less fat than the normal Kielbasa, and that way we get to make it a little bit healthier. So we'll get started chopping some things up and get cooking. So let's peel our potatoes then. And normally I would use, your average potato peeler, vegetable peeler, to give you a nice thin peel. But in this particular instance, I actually want to use these peels for another dish. So I'm going to cut them very thick, way more than you would normally for peeling a potato. So in order to do that, we're just going to take the ends off. So we've got a nice stable platform, and then take your knife, just gently follow the contour of the potato. We've got these nice thick peelings. Oh, there's a naughty bit right there. Then half lengthways, and then a couple cross cuts, and we'll put those in our pot with a couple of inches of water. Now don't season this water yet, because a lot of starch is going to come out of these potatoes. So you want to give them a little bit of a swirl, and then we're going to dump that water and then refill it with fresh. And what that'll do is, when you take some of this starch out, it just stops the potatoes getting really gummy. So we just drained these off then. We're going to add some more water to them. Next in are our onions and our bay leaves. We'll season it with salt and pepper and get it on top of the stove. So back at the board then, all we're going to do with these onions is top and tail them, cut them in half, peel the skins off, and we're just going to slice them. We're not going to do a dice or anything like that. So let's just rock through these. Oh, that was an urgent one. And these are actually going to go in with our potatoes. And this is just a really rough chop. So there's our onions sliced up. I'm just starting to feel it with my eyes. And now we're just going to pull those off the board and into the big pan. Add our bay leaves, crack them, fold them in half, helps the flavour come out of the bay leaves. So that's what you should be left with: your potatoes, your sliced onion and your bay leaves. All we need to do is add a pinch of salt and pepper. So a healthy pinch of salt. When I say healthy, that's probably a good teaspoon. We'll check the seasoning again later. Plus there is bacon going in this, and the salt in that will also add to the seasoning. Pretty good healthy pinch of pepper as well. This is winter food, and it doesn't hurt to have a little bit of heat in it. But all we're doing with the bacon then, we just run through it like so, and we're going to put this in a wok. You don't have to use a wok. I like to use a wok because the sides are a lot higher and it just saves a lot of cleanup on the top of the stove. Wok has just started to get a little smoke to it. The only oil that's in there actually is what I always dress it with after I've cleaned it and put it away. So we just let that sit in there. What a lovely sight and sound. I only wish you could smell it. I think it was Emeril Lagasse that said, pork fat rules. Adding pork fat to a meal can certainly increase that flavor complexity. I'll try and show you where you want to be with these spuds. Let me just get one out. So the fork should go in about 1 centimeter, 1/4 of an inch. Wherever you're watching this, use the measurement of your choice. This is the point at which we want to add the kale, because we're just going to throw the kale right on top of this. And this is why you need a big pot. I should have actually said that at the beginning. You need about a 2-gallon pot. So we're just going to dump this kale right on the top. Turn the heat down a bit and put the lid on. And that kale is going to steam down. It'll lose a lot of its volume as it cooks down. And when it's done that, we'll talk about our mashers. Look at that amazing colour. That's what I love about kale. It turns this beautiful verdant green. You can see it's come down quite a bit. It's not quite cooked yet, but it's getting there. So I just dug out one of these potatoes just to see how they're doing. And they're perfect now. When you can put your fork in them like that and they just sort of break apart, that's where we want to stop, because otherwise they'll all turn to a mush. We can check some of these thicker pieces that have stalks, the kale, and they're lovely and tender, so we're good. So our kale, potatoes and onions are all done. Now I'm going to pour off the liquor that's left. I learned something by watching my mum years ago, is you don't throw away your cooking juices. And that includes if you're boiling vegetables. Because think about it, we've got seasoned veg, bay leaves, and it makes a lovely base for a soup. So I keep this. There's another reason I save it separately, is I want to mash it down without any of the liquor in it at all and check the consistency. If it's a little bit thick, then I'll pour some of this stock back into the pot. It makes a fabulous soup base or a type of vegetable stock, which once it's cooled down, I can pour it into a Ziploc bag and put it in the freezer. And next time you want to make like a vegetable soup or a stew, you just add that in instead of going out and buying a vegetable stock. So let's do some mashing. There is actually a very traditional like wire Dutch masher, and I don't have one. This is my masher. There are many like it, but this one is mine. Without me, my masher is useless. And without my masher, I am useless. So if you know what movie that is from, you can put that down in the comments. So, using my masher, let's get this mixed up. We want to get a sort of semi-uniform colour. I like to get it so that this colour is about 50-50. I'm going to add a little bit of that liquor back to this pot, just to make it a little bit wetter. So not very much, because all the time this is sitting here steaming when we're mashing it, of course it's losing moisture. There, that's perfect. Now then, we can add our bacon. So there's our bacon then. I just warmed it through again on the heat. I'm going to add a healthy knob of butter to that, just to give a little bit more flavour. And we're going to pour this directly, fat and all, and try and make sure you get all of that lovely bacon grease out of there, because that is liquid gold, my friends. And then we'll just gently fold that in. So if you're wondering where the sausage went, here it is. I put it on top when I'm done, and then I just stick it on a very, very low flame or low heat if you're using electricity, because you don't want the bottom of your pan to catch, because it will with the potato. Well, there we are. That is Boeren Kool, a farmer's kale. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. This is a delightfully simple recipe to make, and it's absolutely delicious. It really is worth giving a try. So don't forget to hit the likes, hit the subscribe button, and if you would like notifications of future recipes, then hit the little bell, because new recipes come out every week. Now all that remains is to give this the taste test. We got a little bit of that nice sausage, we got some kale, oh there's a bacon piece. We'll get that on there and some mustard. I'll tell you what, I shouldn't speak with my mouth full. For as simple as those ingredients are, this is just stunning. Cheers.